Those
Did you already start it?
Yep.
No, I just started my Naruto. Well, I'll start now though. I'll start streaming now.
Sweet. I'll start now. Why is this fucking choppy?
Fuck, what? My stream key's not working. Mercy. Copy. Stream. Sure. Paste. Twitch.
Fuck man, not tonight.
Oh boy, he's already sent out invitations and everything else.
Yeah, mine's I'm live.
Yo.
Oh, kinda sucks because we're playing different games.
All good.
No, I'm about to jump on the Mustang. I captured engine of Refty and Retalux in one game.
Nice.
I'm so bored. Eh?
I don't even know what to stream now. Fuck, everything's choppy as. Fuck, whatever I play a file league.
What's happening?
Someone's double check my stream. That's all good.
I'm on I'll check Twitch.
Yo. Hello.
Hey there, buddies. How's it going?
Tēnā koutou tamariki mā. Bonjour from Peru. Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, what? Hey,
Welcome to the stream.
Yo.
Which lobby are you in, Donny?
Which level am I? 2, I think?
Oh, you're showing up soon, it's all good.
I can get you to it. But I think I'll avoid playing UAE for now. Otherwise we'll be too focused on this. Hey.
Oh man, try to stay on watch dance with you.
I'm jumping in my tomorrow.
Like, oh no, yeah, Donny, you're right. You're actually right, Donny. No, fuck, I won't focus if we're playing this.
Yep.
When just play a game there, like, you just don't have to think about it, just kind of smash it.
That's pretty much what I'm doing, mate.
Now, like, if you verse each other, then yeah, that's a different story.
It's a different story.
Yeah, no.
How's your night been, Doggo? Or humble man, night's been alright, eh? Just had a few games of Monster Hunter and then I'm gonna jump on and do this anime discussion. You watch anime, Humble? You watch much anime?
Give me a second, guys. Nice.
Alright. Hi guys. My name is Jiki.
What kind of animes are you into, Chicky?
Bulbasaur. Oh, wait.
Bulbasaur. That should be our next topic, man. Favorite Pokemon, then why?
Oh my life.
And then we'll get into favorite region.
Favorite region, yeah. Oh, I reckon that's better. Region's better.
Yeah.
Can't just defend one Pokemon.
I don't want to talk to Eric after he said Johto. I was just like, bro.
Should we start? We'll start that way.
It will always be number one, man.
Alright, cool. So, welcome guys to the second episode of our live anime discussion. Tonight we'll be discussing our favorite anime villains and also our most iconic moments in anime. And you know, if we're gonna go through our list of panelists, and you have myself, Ricky Senpai. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yo, my name is SSJ Kage. I'm the #1 Super Saiyan. Just like to say sub to the comments, to the dude in the comments, Lux. Hope you like my moves, G. And I am not much of an anime, so don't expect too much of me. More into the
Who does?
more famous Western stuff. So if you expect something big from me, then sorry, mate. You'll be disappointed just like my wife.
Chris said no one cares.
Oh yeah. Sima.
Yo, what's up? My name's Simba Sky, world's #1 shinobi. Don't watch anime that much, but I'll just say what I can. Yeah. Enjoy the chat.
Feel free to join in on the comments.
Hey. So. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got a lot to say on stream, mate.
Like a different person.
I'm not saying that nobody knows. He don't.
Nah, we know you, mate. We know you, mate. You're just like your favorite character, you dark as heck.
That's it.
So if anything, watch out for those moments, G.
That's when I'm hungry.
And our special guest is TK Origins, or in other words, Missy. Can you introduce yourself, mate?
What's up, guys? TK. I'm new to the group. I don't think I watch a lot of anime, but I just find other people, guys, that, you know, that love anime just as much as me, so yeah, just go talk about it, you know.
Not gonna lie, that was a better intro than I wanted.
Nice.
Like straight to the point.
Nice. All right, awesome, guys. Well, as you guys want to know, that's the crew and the panelists for tonight. And we're gonna start off with our we're gonna start off with our favorite villains for the first half an hour, and then the last half an hour we'll go into our favorite almost like our favorite iconic moment in anime. So to kick things off, we'll start at the same as we did last week, and we'll get SSJ Kage to start for us. So yeah, I'll give it over to SSJ Kage.
Gee, we just had Siba introduce himself. Man, favorite villain? Oh, it's the same as last week, Vegeta. Yep. Gee, why is because like in the Saiyan arc, like that puts the Saiyans in perspective, and then you get the Prince of all Saiyans come down and be a complete badass, and then there was that moment where like you don't know how bad he really is until he grabs Nappa and then chucks him into the air and just blows him to smithereens. And like he would do that to his own minions, and he's strong enough to be able to do it without taking a switch. Bro, that's what you call a villain, G. And then later on down the line, what was it? That fight with the Ginyus, and then him and Goku go up against and Chase or Jace or whatever his name is, the red fella, the volleyball dude. And then Vegeta just comes up and blows him away, and Goku's like, "You didn't." Yeah. And Vegeta blows him away, whereas Goku's just trying to put Captain Ginyu down instead of having to kill him. But Vegeta just goes out and finishes Chase. Fuck, it's mean. And then later on, he comes out as Majin Vegeta, and like they're in the tournament, they're surrounded by thousands of people, and Vegeta just blows one side of the arena away. Nothing badass G right there, G.
Ah, yeah, man.
So Vegeta as Majin Vegeta. So
He didn't really have like a long streak as a villain, like a real.
Nah, he was. I think it was just that arc that he was
that
like
Saiyan arc.
the Saiyan arc, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just came to say hello.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
I wanted to be part of the team. Sound like an outsider.
This is one of our Nesian gaming boys, Kavir. He likes to come in midstream, just for the sake of coming in midstream.
So boys, see you later, boys.
Here's my leader.
Your lost child.
Is it?
Yeah, that's right. But anyways, yeah, Vegeta's number one. G, good guy, villain, all the guys. Doesn't really matter. G, Vegeta's number one.
Yeah. Yo, John, remember? Yeah, we do have a Twitch stocks. If you want to join us, go join us on our Twitch. Our Twitch is at Nesian Game.
Same thing everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got one of the other boys. That's where Simba Sky's at. He's in charge of our Twitch channel.
Come on over, bro.
Come on over, bro. Let me take that.
Oh, sweet. Does anyone else have anything to add to Vegeta? Because, to be honest, I have nothing to add to him because to me, he's basically a good guy now. So you can't.
Yes, it's really hard to add to him.
Yeah, it's not really. Doesn't have a big catalog of being a major villain in anything.
Gee, bro, so he turned into a massive monkey, and then Goku, who was it? No, Yajirobe cut his tail off, and then Gohan turned into a massive monkey, and it was just him by himself. So it was Goku, Krillin, Yajirobe, and a massive monkey Gohan, and Vegeta still came out by himself, and he was by himself.
Massive monkey Gohan.
Gee,
what do they call that? What do they call it? Is that like primary? Or is that what do they call that?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's called like an Ozaru or something, or Zaru or something.
All right, it's yeah. Does anyone else have anything to add to Vegeta's catalog of villainous acts?
Yeah, man, I reckon Vegeta's like peak of villainy.
Yeah.
Was probably Majin Vegeta.
Yeah, that does probably his like strongest.
Yeah.
That looks so natural to him. I was telling you that last week. If he should be a bad guy, like he should be a bad, make him bad. Just maybe the most badass. Even be a better bad guy than Broly, to be honest.
Ain't no doubt about that.
But he's got so much potential, but I think they have him kind of like the sidekick, which is a bit sad.
So,
but that's everybody's favorite character.
There is no such thing
Like,
as
I mean,
sidekick.
like, he's got like, cause you know how he's like a Saiyan, and you know how, like all Saiyans like as long as like they know that the other opponent like is stronger, they have like they have like the potential to like go further, just like how Goku is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like he could be like a really good like villain, but it's because he's just a good guy now.
He should be a villain.
Yeah.
Like he should actually turn, be a villain. Just embrace it, man.
But even with like with that, like Vegeta is like he's still like one of like everybody's like favorite character in like Dragon Ball Z, despite Goku.
Yeah, he's got a big following. Got a really big following.
I think it's bigger than Goku's.
Yeah, I think he does. Like, cause I feel like Vegeta has like his fan favorite in like Dragon Ball Z.
I just like the fact that they finished him off being like the strongest in the universe.
Yeah, but if Goku masters instinct, that's
Which he probably will. Just saying.
He will.
I heard
He does.
I have like another.
He did, didn't he?
He mastered it, but he couldn't. I don't think he can bring it back. Like master, as in like he can call it on whenever he needs it.
See, should have do that to Vegeta. Gee, it's too late. Like
sustain it as well.
Yeah, I feel like the writers will probably do like something else. I don't know. They might do another arc. I'm not sure.
All right, awesome. I guess that's all we can pretty much say about Vegeta. So moving on to our next next panelist, Simba Sky. Who was your favorite villain of all time?
You guys probably already know this, but like, have you seen Death Note? You see?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
My category, mine was on Death Note as well.
Fuck.
Probably the same dude.
So my favorite villain, in all anime is probably Light Yagami. Yeah. Only reason is because even though he thought he was doing a good thing, like you know, killing off like those who kind of deserve it, like, but nobody really deserves like, you know, death. I reckon, like, no one should be able to play that the hand
role
of
of
God.
God, yeah.
That role of guarding, yeah.
And I think, but I reckon the people who actually, you know, who did the anime, like, actually knew what they were doing. Like,
Yeah.
the people who are watching it needs to decide, like, you know, was he actually a villain or was he actually a good guy? Because you know, if the law is trying to chase him down, then that kind of puts him in a bad light. But then, like, for us, like, I mean, I'm speaking to like us in general, and we have like a, you know, Christian background. Like, we can kind of like say, like, you know, this is not his kind of. He shouldn't be able to play this role. Yes, I reckon anime did good when they kind of made him like a villain, but also kind of like the main good
guy, but he was like a villain at the same time. Yeah. I'll touch up on that because I was actually gonna choose Light as well. Because I mean, like, it's just like because when you start the anime, like, because you're like rooting for him as it starts, but then as it progresses on, like, you're like, you have L, and then you have M and stuff. It comes along, and you're like, you kind of really don't like want to go for it, like, you don't want to root for him, but at the same time, you know, he's kind of trying to take down Kira because, like, when it comes down to it, he's actually really bad. He's like killing people off, like, just like, you know, he's trying to clean the world of like all this impure stuff, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know, it's like, it's not right at the same time.
Yeah.
But like, he's just really smart, and like, even the way like he like manipulates like all his like there's episodes that like the episode like where he like he did that plan where he can like take the notebook, give it to someone, and then like he forget his memories and stuff like that. Like, I felt like that was like a really good like plot though, but I think it kind of fell short at the end because the guy that he entrusted the book to was just a bit of a dickhead. So,
You know, yeah, if I could, real quick, if you know, in the beginning of that movie, I don't. In the beginning of the those episodes, like, I don't know how you not take him for the bad guy. Like, I kind of knew straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
especially,
I think
but like,
really, like
yeah, but like, as soon as who's the police guy? Al. Hey,
Al,
I'm really bad at names. As soon as he comes in, bro, that's the guy I was rooting for, cause I knew that the main character would like that was the big twist, was that he's the bad guy, but he's the main character, and we're following him. So like it was curious as to how they were gonna do it, story wise, especially with Al coming into the picture and stuff, and then like how everything was gonna progress throughout the story, and I think that's why it made such a good story plot. But like, if I had to rethink like last week on like good guys, like Al would have been that dude, eh?
That's true.
Like,
Good guys. Oh, true.
Yeah, because he was actually the good guy, and it was funny because like I think someone was confused last week at the end of our conversation. They wanted to go for Kira because he was the good guy. I was like, hey, but he's the bad guy. And like the ominous music and everything. Like, I knew that dude lost the plot as soon as you look at the book. And he just had it filled up with names and shit. I was like, oh, bro, this guy is gonna think. Yeah, I knew like he was going for the god, I'm a god kind of a role. No one can touch me and stuff. But then it was mean to see like Al figure out where he is and everything else, and where all of this has started and how it all began. Like that's when I started rooting for that dude, because like, oh, but he's the man. But he's not the main character, which means he could die off whenever like just a slip of a real name, and he could die off. And that was crazy, dude.
What do you reckon, so?
Favorite villain?
No, what? Just to get you into the discussion as well, mate. What do you think of Light Yagami being the villain in this? And Sima's all being the villain in Deathloop. Does he deserve that title?
I don't know. Like, I reckon it's hard to say because he wasn't killing good people until he got drunk with power.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, I'm honest, I'd probably do the same. Like, just start randomly killing criminals if I saw their names.
Mm.
But, like, in terms of, like,
I will too.
killing like detectives' wives and all that stuff. Like, yeah. I mean, if the thing is, like, yeah, he's a villain, but
he's
not. Yeah, I mean, he was killing criminals more than anything. If a criminal can take somebody else's life, why are they so scared to lose theirs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't really class him as a villain. It's more of a he was just drunk on power. That's it. Or I don't know, like how people say, become the good guy, like, and then like see yourself go into a bad guy kind of a thing. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
Gee, you are like in the first episode when the Shinigami comes and shows himself, right, and says that that's his notebook. The music gets really dark. It's in his room. It's really dark. Like, they play it off so that you know that he's the bad guy. And like, I don't know, and then Saul's like, yeah, I'll be writing bad guys' names too. I was like, but see, the thing is that once you, like, you need to understand that, like, you have no right to just go out and take lives because you think they're the criminals, because then you become that criminal, so you become the same. It's the same reason why Batman doesn't kill people, because then you become the villain. So therefore, he doesn't. There's no need to kill. So as soon as he started writing names, that's when I knew that. Like, that, there's the line right there. Like, he's killing off villains. He's killing off criminals, murderers, rapists. Yeah, that's true. But like, once you decide to take other people's lives into your own hand without any like rules or like without the law, like, there's like without any order really, then you've just become a criminal. So it's like becoming a vigilante, but then you start murdering people. Well, you're no longer a vigilante, you're just another criminal, killing other criminals. Do you know what I mean?
I'd still kill the criminals.
And that's why I say, so you are dark, bro.
Here's the thing, like, you mentioned Batman, right?
Yeah.
But see what happens when Batman, like, okay, think of it like this. Batman didn't kill Joker. And when the Joker killed Jason Todd, what happened? He came back as a Red Hood.
Yeah.
Started doing it because Batman wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
It's kind of the same. Like, if nobody else does it, then who's gonna stop these criminals? The only way to put down these dumb humans is by killing them.
A quote from
What
Red Hood.
the?
You're pretty dark, eh? I'm just gonna say, like, I'm gonna leave you in that corner, just gonna agree with you, man. Like, the last thing I want is for you to knock on my door at night.
Forget everything I just said.
But I think I get what kind of I get what Son's trying to say.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Because, like, because like, whenever you see like a lot of bad stuff that happens around the world, like it probably enlightens, like, in his point of view, that's probably what he was trying to do, like, just get rid of all that pure evil and stuff. But yeah, like, I get what you mean as well.
Yeah. So King's jumped into the converse. Everybody say sup to King.
It's okay.
He said if he killed the Joker, if Batman killed the Joker, then Joker would have killed less people. I see that point, but again, there's a reason why Batman doesn't kill, because you don't want to be the bad guy. You don't want to become who you are after. Like, you don't want to be the person that you hate so much. You know what I mean?
And another word, you don't right a wrong with another wrong.
But that's the thing.
It just starts the loop.
Moment, for that one moment, if I was Batman, I would have killed him, like, straight off the bat. Because one, he's killed millions of people. If I kill him, he's kind of like, the whole one life and save a million lives. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
But that one life was, he was a shitty person. It's like Madara.
You know what should have happened with the Joker is that as soon as, like, because Batman's caught him like a bajillion times over, They should have just put him on the death penalty. Like, I'm sure that was an option in America. But
but then again, like,
going off,
but
going off
like,
from anime to DC and Marvel comics.
DC is not really based like in the real world. Like I think Marvel is, but DC is not based in the real world. I think they have like their own like kind of like.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Back to our anime.
It's an anime.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So, yeah, but I feel like I think as a villain, like I just meant like more of like the back and forth between Light and Al. I feel like that's where like the story like they played out really well. Like props to the writers, man, because like wow, man, that the anime was so good, man.
Yeah.
And back and forth.
Who was it?
Well,
Wasn't it getting to the point where like if a person did petty crimes, they would die as well?
I think so. I'm not sure. I forgot.
Yeah. We'll go on to Sora's favorite villain. I bet you.
But yeah, shut boys for.
Oh man, I have too many A-Dogs. I can't really.
See Goku's the villain. See Goku's the villain. See Goku's the villain. See Goku's
No,
the
see,
villain.
I'd say Broly. Like, I'd say Broly.
Oh yeah.
Like, just for the simple fact, like how Vegeta was like, you know how he launched Nappa into the air and like blew him up.
Yeah.
Like Broly, like full on destroyed his dad, and was like, "You're not my dad." Killed his dad. You know, just because it's just like I don't know, like all these villains in anime, they kind of have a motive. Like you know, they like Pain. You know, he wanted to stop the war, but in his own weird way, kind of a thing. You know, he wanted to pretty much just bring all the ninjas in, you know, into one village. You know, but Broly was just like, you know what, I just hate you, so I'm just gonna be a bad guy just because for the pure fact that I hate you.
Yeah, but
like he had no motive. He just like, I hate you, Goku. Like, let's have a fight and see who comes out alive.
That's why
who's the strongest? Yeah, it's not like who's the strongest out of the two of us.
Like at the end of the day, he didn't want to take over the universe. He didn't want to take over the world. He didn't want to destroy a planet. He just hated the dude. That was it. And like I think that's what makes a good villain. It's just like he doesn't care. Just like relate him to the Joker. He just didn't care. He just wanted to kill Goku.
Oh, bro, if this was
hate.
if this was villain overall, Joker would be #1.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add something before I leave?
Before you leave, what?
No, before I add something. Anyone else?
Oh no, you can add, man.
Broly's dumb, eh? Like he's got like the most intimidating look ever. Like when you look at a villain, like Broly looks like a villain. Strength, Broly's got it. Like everything, he's got it going for him. But the only reason why he's after Goku so much is because Goku wouldn't stop crying next to him when they were babies.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. That is so dumb. Like, oh, bro, it was who was it? The TFS, they did an abridged version of the Broly movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. They're on YouTube. They're like, that shit is hilarious. But Vegeta nails it down to a T. Like, oh man, it's crack up.
Whose favorite villain is Broly?
Sauce.
I think he's one of his favorite villains because like
he's got too many.
But everybody was on the topic of Dragon Ball Z and. But yeah.
I didn't see that coming. Your favorite villain is actually Broly.
Broly's just like all brawn, eh?
Like, you don't have to think, like, he makes being a villain simple. It's like, man, you see Frieza, he's like, I'm gonna get all the Dragon Balls and be immortal. Like, that's a job in itself. He has to go fight everybody else just to get the Dragon Balls. But Broly's just like, fuck this, I'm killing my dad and I'm killing you.
Yes, I like what Sauce saying. Like, it's just a simple villain. Like you know, like that's what you expect a villain to be. Just wants to just kill people. Like, no
boring
attached to it. You know, it's just straight to the point.
It's not like Vegeta, you know. I'm a bad guy. Wait, I want to marry Bulma. Now I'm a good guy.
He didn't marry. He didn't
Wasn't
marry
really-
her, mate. He didn't marry her, mate. There's one.
Find
There's
it.
one
Big
that leaves.
babies. There's bombardies.
There's bomb bellies. What's it called? King's going off about DC, and I'm just like, let's keep it to the
I know
enemy.
about
chat.
DC.
Let's keep it to the
I'd say
enemy.
Punisher is an anti-villain. Because remember, he did try to kill Wolverine. Wolverine's the same, so yeah.
Yeah.
we'll-
Yeah,
we'll save
Punisher
that
is
for
the
another
same. Punisher would be the same as Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
Anti-villains.
time. Just more serious,
Yeah,
and he can die.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite villain. You know,
Yeah,
just there's no explanation
Your
behind
favorite,
it.
your favorite villain might as well have been Kid Bougie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
This is
another one.
Like
Too many,
pointless.
too many to name.
He's got no point. Like he doesn't no thinking behind it. It's
Yeah.
just pure evil. You know.
I like. Oh man, we better get off.
Wait,
the DC
hold on,
real
let me
quick,
just
eh?
read this real quick.
Yep.
So Humble Dingo says Team Rocket are the best villains, and then Renvin laughs and say totally, and then Nomad was like shot saw. I think he was referring to like how dark you were. With fun.
Nah.
Man,
This guy is dark, bro. I'm telling you.
Jeez, this guy's the darkest dude in the group, eh? Just saying, real quick, like real talk. Nah, we're best friends. G. I love you, like me and you, number one. Like the last thing I want is to step on your toes, cause holy snap, I don't want you knocking on my door. Eh?
You know how Broly hated Vegeta or Goku when they were crying? I feel the same way now. It's just no reason. Oh, what about you, TK?
Eric.
Who's your favorite? Oh, Eric.
Now, what about TK? Do you have anything else to add to like Yagami?
Oh, bro.
oh, no,
Bro,
I'll choose someone else. Like since you already like covered, we already covered like, but I'll just choose someone else. Are we
Oh,
finished with We finished with Bob?
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
said,
we'll
he's
finish
simple dogs. There's
Yeah,
no
simple.
explanation.
just want to beat people up.
I had a few villains as well. I forgot what happened with him, but I feel like Furia from Brotherhood. Is it Furia? What's his name again?
Is that the main bad guy?
No, he was the commander.
Which guy?
He was the commander of the army. He was kind of
Oh,
like
Ref.
the general. He was Ref,
Oh,
yeah, Ref.
Ref.
And like, cause he was, cause when I found out like the twist that he was actually bad, oh man, he was, cause like
that was
when you
upsetting,
first saw
yeah.
him, yeah, cause when you first saw him, like, oh boy, this guy can do really decent damage, and then you find out
Yeah.
he's like, oh, he's bad, like, oh what?
I was
So,
upset as
yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, man. I feel like he was a good villain. I forgot what. I don't remember like what was the reasoning behind. Was he like just one of the clones or something?
Yeah, he was one, because remember, he was one out of like, was it 20 candidates that they chose to, to have that role, to play that role as ref. And then remember, he ended up being the top candidate. But I mean, like, if you're trying to go through him as a villain, like, why do you really like him as a villain? Are there certain things about him that you like him as a villain, or is it his story, or the way he was played in Brotherhood?
I think it's just the way he was playing Brotherhood. Like they made him out like, as you first see him, it's like you made him like a really good like good captain and stuff. But like you find out later on, like no, he's been like secretly like spying or something. Like I can't remember. I watched Brotherhood a while ago, so I can't really remember like all the details.
Yeah, it's been so bloody
Yeah.
long.
That's when
Yeah,
he's.
it's been
Old
so
anime,
long, man.
real old
Yeah.
anime.
It's like his fight. Do you still remember his fight with Greed?
Bro, Greed, bro. Oh, bro, Greed, G.
That was.
Don't get me started, G. That guy was the man.
Well, Greed wasn't. Greed's kind of like Vegeta, in a way. Not really bad, but kind of good.
But weak.
Nah, G. He was just all about
Greed was
himself.
strong. Yeah.
Gee, bro, didn't he take out like 3 other sins or something?
Although, it depends. If is that the manga you're talking about?
Oh yeah, I read the manga. Yeah.
But he fought. He did fight quite a few of the sins himself. But that's because he was just greedy, wanted everything. Yeah. Yeah. Is that does anyone want to add on to greed? Or to to wrath in Full Metal Alchemist?
Wasn't he? No, he wasn't the daddy. Was he?
He had a son. His son.
I can't remember.
Well, he played
man.
was his son was the strongest. Was the strongest son. Really strong. What was the son?
Did he have a son?
Yeah, he
Man,
had.
that is such an old anime. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Gee. I think when I first started getting into anime, that was one of the first. Oh.
Do you not remember his son? His son is really. His son was the most. Was the strong. I reckon he was the second strongest out of the sins. You know the son, TK. Remember the son was, and like his.
I think he did.
He was the little boy. The little boy. He was a little boy, and the little boy wanted to grow up and become an alchemist. He ended up being I can't remember, but I know what he looks like. He's like a dark shadow, like all black with like dark eyes, and that doesn't make sense at all. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, moving forward to the last topic before we move on to our very last topic, which is, yeah, I'll get there, mate, if you just kind of keep it down a little bit so I kick you out of it.
I was like, dude, didn't even.
I'll play. See, my favorite villain, and I think most of you guys can agree that he was a villain that was well thought out, not only because of what he believed in, but because, in a way, when we look at villains, you know, we can always think they're the bad guy, but if you kind of see the way they've seen it from Light's perspective, if I'll touch references on that, is that Light, even though we see him as a bad guy, you know, we saw it through his eyes that he was getting rid of evil. He wanted to make the world a better place with people, you know, actually good people. And at its core, if you think about it, that sounds like a really good idea. But that's besides the point. But my favorite villain is Pain from Naruto. And Pain, he's such a complex character. Because if you're talking about Pain or you're talking about Nagato, but just the reason why I really like Pain is that he wasn't really a bad guy when it came down to it. He was more of a guy that was seen as bad because he had ideals that he believed that were right. You know, if you look at it from that way, a lot of bad guys do have motives, but they also have reasons why they do the things that they do. You know, so that's the reason why I really like Pain is because he was a character that believed in peace can be obtained his way, if that makes any sort of sense. You know, maybe not the way that everyone likes it to be, where everyone's saved, but, you know, I thought he had a real valid reason, and a lot of bad guys do tend to be like that because something really traumatic has happened in their life, and it's either you come back being either a good person, or you come back B as being the bad guy, and I don't think he was bad in that regard, but because we saw it through Naruto's eyes, you know, it kind of made it seem like he was a bit of a bad guy. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Gee, I knew you were gonna pick Painting.
He's a good character.
He's kind of similar. To Light. He just has his own way of achieving peace. You know?
See, I didn't see Light as bad. Like, if that's call me like shallow-minded, but you know, I kind of see you kind of see what Light was trying to do. Like it's kind of like, because he doesn't have the powers of God in him, but he did get a Death Note. He was trying to make the world a better place, but you know, we're trying to be objective here that he can't do that because there's an outside being who's a god that's his job. But I mean, at its core aspect, like, he was really trying to do something good for the people, but you know, you either be the good guy so long that you see yourself become the bad guy in the end, which was what happened to him. But yeah, come on, add on to Pain.
I reckon that's the same as Pain. Like, Light, like how you're saying, like, you know, all that stuff. But I reckon that's the same thing with Pain. Like, he tried to do something, but he, you know, being, man, how do I say it without sounding like a douche? being paralyzed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, he how the way he went about it, like I reckon it's the same as L. I mean, as like
Like Yagami. Yeah, yeah. He's much more complex the way you see it. Like if when especially the story how it ties him to Jiraiya. Like he's much more complex in that sense. I mean, the best scene is when Naruto approaches him inside the big pod and he asks him, well, you know, what's going on? Why are you doing the things that you do? And then he gives him a really nice speech of telling him like why peace can only be obtained through restarting again and destroying everything, or it's destroying the leaf, because where he's from, the leaf completely destroyed his homeland. So you know what I mean? It's kind of unfair to take the leaf side, because we're seeing it through their eyes. You know, the leaf is the protagonist in this anime, and because we always see it through the leaf, that it's kind of unfair that you don't see it through the perspective of, you know, the reigning religion, what they went through. So who really is the bad guy? You know what I mean? It's two sides to a coin, which is why Pain. That's what the directive that they took of Pain, and to give him the name Pain, and you know, make him a separate character from Nagato, almost like his alter ego. That's brilliant, because it's like Nagato doesn't take full responsibility for the character of Pain, but it's more like Pain as a character that he kind of made to act out his wishes and his ambitions. Because I don't think Nagato was a bad guy at all. You know, he was just a person that went through a lot to discover why and what he was doing, you know, was right, which I think is fair.
It's crazy because they did such a good job with him and they completely screwed it with Obito, eh?
So let's say that Obito's my favorite Uchiha. That's true.
They screwed it. They screwed it.
So you think Obito was an awful bad guy?
He was, nah, I think the way they told his story was just really bad. Like, even in the manga, I couldn't be bothered reading it. But, like, that's what makes Pain such a good... Because, like, when you see, like, when a bad guy and a good guy cross paths, and, like, if the bad guy has a brain to him, they always say, you know, we're basically the same. That old cheese, like, me and you, we're the same. And like, nah, you're freaking psycho. But, like, when Pain does it, and he goes and he shows like what happened to him when he grew up and stuff, the Leaf Village members killing his parents, and all this other stuff, like, and then even going to meet Jiraiya and, like, you know, looking up to Jiraiya, but like with everything in his life, like
yeah.
Like you can't argue with the dude. You know what I mean? Like you can't, and like and that was the best thing about him, was that he went with that name Pain. Because that's what everybody can relate to, and so
I agree. Yes.
And so he went with the name Pain. But then that's why, like, when Nagato finds out that Naruto was named after him, like the whole name theme, like it, and then so for him to flip the switch, it made sense. Whereas when Obito made the switch, because his teacher and Kakashi was like rubbish. Rubbish. But like
they could have done Obito well though. Yeah.
They could have done it better, or just as good at least. But like they screwed it. But who cares? I just want to let everybody who's watching know that, like, if you have a favorite villain, if you've got something to add it in the comments. Someone said Team Rocket, their favorite villains. Yeah. Like, there's nothing to add there, really. But like,
they're like platonic G-rated bad guys.
Yeah, but like,
yeah,
they're good. They're good. Like, I think I liked Team Rocket growing up more than I did the other dudes, cause Ash
like
was
James.
annoying. And like when the bad guys like saw that the good team were like in trouble, they would help out here and there, which is cool. Like, you'd never see that really, unless like they need it. But like, if anyone in the comments or anyone watching wants to add in their anime, it is a group chat, so feel free to add in. Like, we don't want to just talk amongst ourselves. Like, I know Eric was gonna say Pain. Like, we've had this conversation over and over again. So for the viewers, like, if you can add in yours and stuff, like, and we'll get a good ass group discussion like with you guys as well, then that'll be awesome. just going forward. Yeah, that'll be cool. Because then I can.
Awesome. Well, yeah. If we will open up once if anyone has any questions, then they do bring it up. But just to keep the momentum going and us to move on to the next topic. Our next topic is our most iconic moments in anime, or your most iconic moment. And we're just gonna go around the panelists again. And yeah, like most of us, we have a lot, but you know, it was hard to narrow down to just one for each of us. So yeah, I'll hand it over to SSJ Kage to start us off.
Oh. Bro, do you
Maybe we
remember
should
that
switch it
moment?
up, eh, Donnie?
Yeah.
Switch up the order.
Bro, most iconic moment in anime.
That's a hard one, eh?
That's
so,
a hard
so many like good
one.
moments.
That's
But I
a
mean,
hard
like
one.
even just choosing one will still be good because we're all gonna be discussing.
Because we'll be like, oh yeah, that was the best.
Yeah,
dude,
that part.
So I think last week I chose Vegeta, this week I chose Vegeta. The next topic. You remember that time when Vegeta was crying to Gokuji?
Oh, and then you went,
Now, you know what? I was gonna be funny about it, but then you wanna put me down. Nah, I changed my moment. I changed. Nah, the most iconic moment. Oh, gee, I don't know. My most recent ones is My Hero. If anyone else out there watches
Hero
it, My
Academy,
Hero. Yeah.
Is this anime or manga?
Anime. It's on the anime.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're up to it.
Before you say.
Oh,
Before you say.
jeez.
No,
Spoilers.
I should be. I'm up to date with my hero.
Are you?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
spoilers ahead for anyone who hasn't seen the new season. Stop listening now.
Spoiler alert.
Yo, what's it called? When he's fighting, when 1-4 and All for One are fighting each other, too. And like he's down to his last energy because he's given it all to the new hero. And he's down to his last energy, and it's all in that one arm. And then he switches arms at the last moment. Oh, bro! And everyone's like cheering for him. Like even in the manga, like, oh my god, that was me. But that took me off. I think even when I was reading it, I was getting chills. Like, and that's crazy because like I don't read, and like if I was to read something and feel something, then you know you've done a good job. But like,
Exactly.
Picture books.
Picture books. Like if I'm reading Peppa Pig and like and Daddy Pig's like falling over, you know. If I'm reading Peppa Pig to my kids, you know. Nah, I'm joking. But no, back on. I'll give a dumb example. Someone said picture book. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Me and my daughter reading Peppa Pig. Gee, bro, that was a massive, because that was so good, because that was the end of him.
Yeah.
That was the end of him being a hero full time, and then like he points to the camera, and everyone's like, "Yay!" But like the main little dude, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Midoriya.
Midoriya. Midoriya. Deku. Little Deku. Like he knows like it's over for him completely, and then it's his turn, and he has to do something as epic as that. Like, oh, bro. Good luck, mate. Good luck. I'm getting chills
Setting
thinking
the bars,
about
bro.
it.
Setting the
Yes,
bars
bro.
high,
Gee, like even his
set
like
high.
any moment with that dude in it, like when he saved him the first time when they're in that little thing with the teacher with the black hole astronaut suit on and stuff, and he comes in and he takes on the Domu or the whatever the hell they are.
Yeah.
Gee, and then he comes in and fist fights with that dude, bro. And like you get to see his strength. Gee, he's going absolute ham. With someone like toe to toe, like almost as strong as him. And then there was the other bit where Deku and his little mate had to go and fight him, and he had to act as a villain. Like, oh, gee. But like a lot of the, oh, bro, like that's a good anime right there, man. That's a good anime right there. That's why.
Because apparently, My Hero Academy is like actually topping like the show. shonens, I think, right now. Shonen Jump.
I'm not surprised.
It's probably the
man. They're
biggest
doing-
one at the moment.
Yeah.
They're doing such a good job for these. Like, yeah, there's that one. That's my name. Thank you,
But you know
Malo.
what I like about, Donnie's pick is that like that moment, like that's the first time like the world got to see All Might in his true form, or like in his,
Yeah, G.
Skinny for me.
Like
even in
everything.
that form, like they still cheered him on.
Change.
Yeah, G. Like everything in that moment was like, was just too fucking good. Like they did the big face reveal when he's weak in his weakened state.
Yeah.
And like they knew that he was in a weakened state, like everyone could feel it, and they're like all cheering, like, "Oh, you can't do." Oh, bro, I'm getting chills. I'm a little fanboy.
You know what's funny? I did not realize that Donnie really liked this anime.
Gee,
I
like,
think that's what
nah,
just completely blown me away.
gee, like, nah, they've done a really good job, like with the whole storytelling and everything else. Like you follow Deku, yeah,
They
cool.
have it, yeah.
But then like, you get the OG, dude, like the guy before like, cause Deku's like, this is the story of how I became the greatest superhero.
Yeah.
But then so you get the OG, the guy who did it before him, and you realize that like they had all this, like there's so much history into it, and so with Deku watching, bro, what's the dude? What's the little kid that got kidnapped and stuff, and like they're like trying to convert him or to becoming a villain, and then him refusing.
Oh no,
Ah, bro, gee, man, the feels.
Yeah, I feel turning point for the anime because the build up towards it, like even because he knew like All Might knew that the point was gonna come, like where he has to like give up the mantle, and like yeah, I feel like that part is like since they made it all like that big, like that's probably like when the story like really starts because like, All Might doesn't have like anything now, like it's all like given to him now. But that was a really good like exit that they did
for the main hero. Yeah, like
the main guy,
bro,
man.
that's the main guy. G, fuck, the other little shitty. Bro, but I'm really hoping like I really hope Deku gets like some kind of transformation so that he could carry on the name All Might. Because remember when you were there like trying to figure out the names and stuff. Nah, because that was the who was it?
All Might's his own name. He's like the ninth folder of the cultivated power of
You know what? Another thing about that moment is that like you can see Midori and Bakugo like they're on the same page for once.
Yeah, G, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, G. I was trying to get to it, but I was like,
like the whole anime, they're like against each other.
Yeah.
Everything
fighting,
everything Deku says, he's like, I hate that idea, blah blah blah. But then when like All Might's like on the center stage and his true form showed, like both of them are kind of like supporting him. Pretty mean how they're both cheering him on.
Yeah,
someone in our comments, Panichigo, he says, "Do you watch JoJo's?"
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures? Nah.
Yes. Is it the one where he goes diamond or something?
yeah. I've actually finished JoJo. Yeah.
But I heard it's actually like pretty good.
That looks good. I want to watch that one.
Yeah, I've actually finished JoJo. I'm onto the last season of it. It's a good anime.
Give us a quick rundown, G.
If there's it's basically, you're basically there's different people in this anime and you have something what is called a stand-in. It's almost like a spirit. It's almost like a spirit that follows you around, and it's kind of like you're almost like a alter ego in a sense, and you can use it in a fight and kill. But the first season, if what's your viewer's name, Sima? Panichigo. At the first season, the brother that he goes to stay with is probably the #1 most hated guy in anime. You have you have your villains and then you have your bad guys, but this guy he's almost got the unanimous title to a lot of the anime watchers of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures as the #1 most hated guy. Like he's so vile, decrepit, evil, like dark, like just complete darkness, villainous, almost like demonic. You guys need to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because your
like
friend
favorite.
Simba. because your friend Sima is telling the truth. It's a really good anime, really good anime. Yeah.
Just real quick, and I add on to that. I don't know who did it. I think. Oh no. Death Battle. It was him. It was the main guy from that versus Kenshiro.
Jojo, is it?
Yeah.
Kenshiro.
Yeah, Jojo versus Kenshiro. It was a main watch. I watched it like just on Sunday. That's how I knew what you were talking about when I asked you to give me a quick rundown on it. I was like, hey,
Yeah, Jojo.
yeah, I saw that.
The main thing about it is JoJo, like because I think there's 4 seasons out, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that, but the very first JoJo, like it's pretty much the next JoJo is like his son, and then his grandson, and then his great grandson. So the line goes all the way down, and as you can imagine, the story just keeps building. So the stories, all the seasons are connected through JoJo's son, and then JoJo's great grandson. It's a good watch. It's that's one of the most like highly praised animes to have ever come out from Japan and not be recognized or given like it's not, no one really knows about it, but it's a really good watch. Yeah. Good question.
Good mention.
Yeah, sweet. So carrying on to our second panelist, Suma Sky. What is your most iconic moment in anime?
My most iconic moment in anime is when what was it? When Sasuke found out the truth about his brother. I reckon that was like the turning point for a lot of people who watch Naruto, like Naruto the first, and then Naruto Shippuden.
Which
when you go into that stuff, like you always the truth
What he
that
did to
he
the
wasn't
village,
really.
or...
like during the war.
Why he did it. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, like just that moment alone, like it kind of, what do you call it? Like a lot of people who watched the anime and they kind of saw Itachi as like this bad guy that like just kills merciless, just wanted to kill his family for no reason. He just wanted to rebel against the village, and he joined the Akatsuki, like the most rebel like clan, like no one out there, a group of people no one out there. And yeah, and just to have that along with the final battle between Sasuke and Itachi, like to have him find out not through Itachi but to find out through was it Obito?
Yeah.
At that time it was what's his name? At that time, what's his name?
Itachi. Who's that?
What did they call Obito in the Orange Mask? What did they call him? Or Toby.
Toby, yeah.
He found out from Toby. Like yeah, like when I saw that, man, that really did. Like I was pretty sad, because the whole time I was like, Sasuke finally beat Itachi. Yes, he's dead. Blah blah blah. And then to find out that like Itachi kind of like did it for like the Leaf Village and to protect Sasuke. Like that was pretty iconic.
Especially what he said, like you run and cling to your wretched life.
Yeah, like Itachi put out all the villain strings, like to the point where like I don't know if like Kakashi and them knew. They didn't, eh?
Nah,
only the third Hokage knew.
Yeah, so even like Kakashi and all them, like, people who like look up to them, like they didn't even know, and they regarded Itachi. They saw Itachi as a villain as well. So pretty much everyone who was there saw him as a villain, except for Orochimaru, Obito obviously, and the third Hokage. Yeah.
Like, jeez. If I could add on to that, you know what? In that whole thing, the most iconic thing is when like the most badass moment is when like Sasuke does the Kirin, and it hits Itachi, and then Itachi's like, and the screen goes black, and then Itachi's voice in the background just comes on. So is this how you pictured me dying? And Sasuke turns around, fucking gets up with his suicide. Oh, mate, you're fucked, mate. Bro, that was badass. I was like, oh, get up, bro. Honestly, I was rooting for Itachi that whole time.
Bro, like, even that, like, that was so cool because like Itachi could have easily killed Sasuke, but Itachi actually pushed him to his absolute limit, and then when he was just about to like, Sasuke pretty much. Yeah. So he had a
Yeah.
plan just to draw out the curse mark, Orochimaru's curse, and then kind of kill it, so he can be free from it. And then he pretty much died. He sacrificed. Oh, he tried to sacrifice himself, just like Shisui, bro. Just,
He was sick anyways.
yeah. Oh, he was. Yeah, he was using
Bro,
his thing too much. Eh?
That's why. That's why when he comes back during the war, bro, it's like crazy, man.
Yeah. Because then, like, Sasuke actually gets to speak to him, and then he said, like, yeah, man, I didn't know you did all this stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And even, like, Naruto and Itachi's encounter during the war, like, that was kind of cool, too.
Oh, shit. Sorry, King, I missed your comment.
That was
Yeah, if you guys want to head on to that. If not, you guys can move on to the next iconic.
What did King say?
Danzo was the cause of all that. I think he was talking about back in pain, because I'm looking at the time. When he missed his back at pain, I was like, oh man, I missed it. That was like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, sorry, King.
So,
Yeah, Danzo.
I think I should stop playing this game and stop button mashing and watch out for comments. But yeah, who was it? Nah, I think the better one was when cause like everybody hated Sasuke by then, knew.
Oh, I've always hated Sasuke.
Like, yeah.
I never really liked him, mate.
Like the majority
I like him now.
fans didn't like him, man. I like him as an adult. Nah, I think when he had that fight with Itachi, everyone didn't like. I think the moment I think everyone started getting on Itachi's side was when him and Itachi met after when they brought him back for Kabuto, and he was gonna go and fight Kabuto, and then Sasuke came up to him then, and like asked him like straight up like, why did you do it? But like,
I mean,
then,
it's
yeah, that was
yeah. I mean,
Cause like I think it was when he was younger and he was crying for power and stuff. Like that's what everyone hated the most, that he left to go with Orochimaru. Cause he knew Thing was stronger than him. Naruto was stronger than him when they were kids. Yeah. But then he had the curse power. Then he did all of that to get revenge, to get stronger in order to exact revenge on his family and stuff. And then they ended up having that fight with Itachi. But man, Itachi's such a badass though, G. You got and like that whole fight, that whole purpose of fighting was to set Sasuke up so that the Leaf would know that he was a hero for taking out Itachi. And not only that, but like he knew that he had the curse mark, and so he dragged that fight out for as long as he could, because I'm quite sure it was the shark dude or somebody else. They said that he was supposed to peel over like way before that, like with how sick he was and stuff. And so, but he dragged all of that out just so that he could make his brother look good and help him out.
yeah. No, thanks, Docs. That's yeah, shucks. Well, moving on to our third panelist. That's TK. Missy, what's your most iconic moment in anime?
I think you skipped Sori.
I'll go to Sora and then me.
Yeah, good.
I feel like most iconic. There's so many, but one of my ones probably not as like really detailed as everybody's ones are. But I feel like any of you like watch Hunter x Hunter?
Yep.
Yeah,
I've
man,
never seen that Hunter.
Yeah.
Explain away, man.
Yeah.
Nah, like that moment that Gon just loses it, like, cause like throughout the whole anime, like he's like just this innocent little kid, like he just wants to find his dad and stuff, but like, through the journey, like he had ups and downs and all these villains that they fight. At that breaking point that he just really actually transforms into like evil mode, or I don't know what to call it. But it's so different to see him like change from that little innocent boy to this like killer or something, because he had no care. He had no care, like just ripping that doll or whatever shit. Like even though that doll was dead or whatever, he just kept going at it. Like you could see, like he had no more like there's nothing left in him.
The innocence was gone.
Yeah, the innocence was gone, man. All you see was a killer, man. Like everybody could feel like whoever it was on there could feel his energy, like the power that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird, but yeah, I'm just saying. This is one of like the most iconic moments, I reckon.
Oh man, that's me. I like that part too.
Yeah.
It's just like you see Gon, he's like a wholesome character. He's just like
Yeah, it's like really
he's
like
a child. Like he's actually a child. But when it came to that point where losing a friend, you know, it came to that. It had to get to that point for him to just lose it. And it just like I don't know. It's just like you lose it, and you become a totally different person. Like that, yeah. And you can feel it. You know, when you watch that episode, you can see it's not like a Goku transformation. It was like, oh, mean.
Yeah,
it's like,
it wasn't. Yeah, it's
when you watch this transformation, you're like, oh, what? You're like, this is like unsettling.
It's really like, yeah, it's not like those like transformations that be like, oh, cool. It's more like a freaky transformation. There's nothing like wow. There's like no wow factor. It was more like just a scary kind of.
Like,
what's
if I had to
happen?
compare it, like, if you had to compare it to when Goku went Ultra Instinct, yeah, everybody lost their shit. It was just like, that's mean as. Or when this guy lost it, like, you know, when this guy changes it, it's like, the even the facial expression, he had like, there was no regret, no emotion, no nothing. It's just like, let's go, I want to kill you now.
Like, even when the chick was dead, man, like, he just kept going at her, like, it's like he was just punching nothing, punching the floor.
It gets to the point where he loses his arm, and he uses his arm that he lost to beat the shit out of the.
Wow.
That was
crazy, man.
Sure. I've never seen it, so.
Have you not seen it?
No. I haven't seen Hunter.
Watch Hunter x Hunter, man.
Nah, I knew me and like. I knew I didn't see it. I'm surprised Sima hasn't seen it. I'm even more shocked that you haven't seen it, Eric.
Nah, it's like it's like an old one. It was either like
It's either that or One
never got
Piece.
to watch it. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a long. It's one of those animes where it's notoriously famous for starting slow. Which I watched up to the episode where they have to go through their running drill, where I think the instructor takes them running for ages.
For ages, eh?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it takes too long. It doesn't catch me. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that part. That was your exam, the Hansa exam.
Yeah, but it took maybe like the whole anime for him to transform, but like, I feel like, we passed that point before. So yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. It's just such a different, from like the innocent character to,
Yeah. Because he's a sweet little boy, when you first meet him.
Yeah,
He's so
he was,
innocent.
yeah.
He just
Like,
wants to know where his dad's at.
Yeah, you wouldn't think he would be like that, cause, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Sounds like
like
one of my badass moments.
Killua would be the one, because when Killua transformed, there was more like a Dragon Ball Z transformation, but when Gon transformed, I don't know what that was.
Like a villain,
That's just, I don't know, yeah, like a villain,
Isn't the real bad guy quite thing as well? Isn't he I heard he's a pretty good bad guy as well. When he gives Gon a hiding. He's Sokka, is it? Something like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but he's more like an anti-hero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
he looks badass
he's more
though.
like, he's good at. He's more like he wants to be everybody, but at the same time he's like he plays games. I feel like he's got so much.
He
like,
looks
power.
cool as well.
Yeah.
They make him look cool. He's actually a really good looking, good crafted character. Because he's like a clown, eh?
Yeah, he's kind of like a Chester. Yeah, he looks like a Chester.
Hey, who stopped the video?
Huh?
Nope.
Nomad said that was an epic moment when he lost it.
Yeah. It's gone, man.
Alright, Nomad knows his smack, G. Nomad knows his smack, G.
Yeah, man.
So do you want to carry on with yours?
That's not so much iconic, but it was just a really cool.
Stuff sorted. Yeah, what's a
It
really
wasn't
cool one?
not so
I
much
think
an
I've had the most iconic moment. Fuck that guy, G. Oh my G, man. G. Like he's like on the brink of death. Oh, nah, carry on, go so before I go off.
but my one would probably have to be episode 37 on My Hero, like when Bakugo and Midoriya went up against All Might.
Almighty.
Oh,
GG,
was it like the
bro.
training exam
It
thing?
was
The exam?
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was the moment where, like, you know how you guys were saying Bakugo and Deku,
They
they
always
kind of didn't see
argue
eye
and
to eye, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was this one thing that Bakugo said that was like, that was probably for me. I mean, not so much iconic to everybody else, but it was just that one speech he said to All Might when All Might had his face on the ground, you know, and he was like, "Oh, you can break me, you can twist me, but like, you know, don't get in my way. Like I'm gonna get there, you know. Like you can do whatever you want to, but that's not stopping him from getting to where he needs to get to, and that's like being number one." It's just like for me, that's just like it kind of represents everybody that's on the grind. Like,
Yeah, everybody's
don't get in my way because like do whatever you want. You can criticize me and all that crap. Like, really don't care, but just get out of my way when it comes to that stuff. Like, that's probably for me. That's it. Short and sweet, ducks. Just to
Bro, on that note, hey, gee, bro, what about that time when he was fighting on that other guy and like he had that one arm, big arm? Gee, that
Who's
like
this?
honestly, I'm joking. I'm just talking out of my ass. I'm just fighting in there.
But that was also one of like that moment was also one of the first moments you see like Deku and Bakugo like actually communicate with each other, you know? Like I think they knew they were being bested, so the only way to get through was to like work together.
yeah.
Nah, see, you know what? You know what I didn't. You know what I like about that moment, and what I don't like is that Deku was being was like just he was being a complete dumbass. I think it was the old lady, like who's that lady that kisses them and then they kiss.
The nurse.
Yeah, the nurse.
Nurse, yeah.
So she was saying in the
That's what you
background, like that boy looks way too high up on to All Might, and the other kid, the what's the friend's name?
Bakugo.
Which one?
Bakugo. That's the one. G. Bakugo. Like he's like so Deku looks up to All Might a bit way too much, and so that's why he has to get over in order to pass the exam, and Bakugo works by himself way too much, and that's what he has to get over. To pass the exam. But see, that whole bit that you were talking about where Bakugo was like, nah, no matter what you do, you're not gonna stop me. I need to be on the top. He had that mindset from the very get-go. He was over the fact that like him and Deku were like if you see what actually happens is that like they couldn't run away no matter what they had. The choice wasn't for them to run away. It was for both of them to run away, which is what Deku wanted. Somebody had to fight, and Bakugo already knew that he had to do it. But he but like instead of having to share it with Deku, who he hates, he just kept that in and was like, nah, I'm gonna do it. And then Deku, and then Deku talks to him, and like they get that moment to breathe, and they're like, nah, we have to figure something out. And he's like, no, dumbass. What needs to happen is I still need to fight. Because I was in the right from the beginning, you're the one who needs to get out of here, and so and then they go off and do it, and like, but the thing is that like that character Bakugo, everyone thought was an idiot, but he won the exams by like he became top, from the beginning, he had that plan from the beginning because he knew Deku was gonna run anyways, like because he's a little bitch. And then like bro, that dude like he is so like, and then he got kidnapped by the villains, and everybody thought that they were gonna turn him over, except for Mr. Eraser, who I reckon is cool, and
Eraser.
Mr. Eraser. And then so him and Bakugo were the only two that knew that he wouldn't break. Like that character, like. Bro, when you watch him, G, like watch him carefully, because like even in the manga, G, like badass.
Yeah.
He's like another Vegeta kind of
Yeah, but like the thing is that like that's what people expect of him, like to be like this simple, like wanna be tough dude all the time. But he's got his head on lock. Like there's a reason why he's like the top finalist. But everyone overlooks that because he swears and threatens to kill everyone every 5 seconds and stuff.
Nah, but I feel like, you know, when he won the competition, even him himself was like saying like, I don't deserve this because what was the other guy's name? The Ice and Fire guy?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't using his full power.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't using his full power. So in his head, he's still not at his best yet because he wants to beat someone at their best.
Yeah. And then
So I feel like
to be the best, he has to
tried
beat someone at their best.
Yeah. And that's why he was he was giving his all like when they were wrestling All Might. Kind of.
Yeah. Oh my G, in that moment, like far out, like the English version is so good. I hate the dub. Just saying.
Someone
English
kicked this
what?
guy.
Someone kicked. Like they done such a good job on the English, like on the English. So then you can just focus what's going on the screen instead of having to look down and read it every 5
I
seconds.
said the argument. So I always used to use the argument all the time. I remember me and Seema had the Viber chat. And Seema.
What was it? I think it was. No. It wasn't the Viber chat. I think we were just drinking, and we were.
But
talking
sub is
about
better. Sub is better.
And then I think you and Teal were giving me shit about it, and so I
feel
went
like
to go,
That was only better if you
if
don't
you
want to.
started, I reckon like it depends. Like say like if you just watched an anime, and you just started on dub, and then you change to like sub. Sometimes you're used to like one thing. It's different.
I just didn't know that like I'm not a massive anime fan. Either. Like I just
I feel like
watching good
because
shit.
like even with Dragon Ball Z, like because I feel like a lot of people started watching Dragon Ball Z on an English dub. So the English dub like they had like some pretty good like voice actors. And
The
then
English dub's way better.
way
better than
and
the
then you listen
Japanese.
to and when you listen to Goku them in Japanese because they sound. 'Cause I know some of them are voiced by girls.
It
sounds off kind of.
it's really off. But
Yeah, it
apparently
sounds
he
like-
was supposed to be comical. Like the Japanese, when they created, he was meant to be like that. Like an idiot.
If anyone's a massive DBZ fan, like go read the manga, G. It's so much better. And like it cuts straight to the point. There's no fillers. Like
You wouldn't like Dragon Ball Z as much as you do if you just read manga. To be honest.
But I feel like with Dragon Ball Z, they're more straight to the point. Whereas like, I think a lot of people lost interest in Naruto just because of the fillers. I think
Straight
they
to the
seem-
point. I don't know about that one.
No,
They're
like
notorious for taking like 20
some random
episodes for
arcs.
one.
come look at
But I
these
just
trees.
feel like
for
it's
5
like
seconds.
whereas in Naruto, like I feel like a lot of people kind of lost interest in Naruto just because there's so much fillers that they had to put in.
Like they were really good fillers, but they were placed at the wrong time and put in the wrong. Like the fillers are really high quality made animes, but they just weren't like brought in at the right time.
Yeah.
Like the Itachi filler was that's not filler anymore. It's not filler. It's canon.
It's canon, yeah.
It was supposed to be
But you
off
know
on
what?
its own.
And well, you can kind of see it was a filler because it was put in at a time when everything else was roaming around the big war. But see, that's an awesome filler. Canon. Yeah.
I didn't even know.
So was it?
Oh yeah. Bakugo and Deku versus All Might.
That was your moment, they saw.
Yeah.
And that's just sweet as moment. All right, before we move on to me and stuff, I'll go with my last character, and then at the end we can just kind of have a quick overview over the questions that were asked in our comments and stuff, and then we can finish it off there. Well, my most kind of moment is probably, I don't know if you guys probably seen this from far away, but my most kind of moment is when Kakashi is walking back on Naruto to the Leaf Village after speaking with Pain. And because he was too heavy, Kakashi had to lift him onto his back, and they're walking back. And when he first walks into the village, and then the whole Leaf Village, like a devastated Leaf Village, are all looking at Naruto on Kakashi's back, and they're like, it's the first time that like this little boy that was hated because he for the reason for killing this and that, and just everything he's been through, he was picked on. Everyone like hated his guts. Like at one point, he was staying by himself, had no parent. And like he saved the Leaf Village that you. I'm not gonna lie, probably shed a few tears there because it was such a, it was something that like bro, it was really iconic when he came back and everyone was like calling him a hero. You're the hero of the Leaf Village. Like,
I can hear a few tears.
I can hear a few tears, mate. I can hear a few tears.
A bit of sniff in that, you know.
Jeez, but like that was, I think at the time, like I think I was just as hyped over that as I was with like All Might and stuff. Cause that shit was, because it goes through it all, and then the teachers are there, and like he's telling the backstory and stuff for Naruto and like how much he's grown and shit. Oh, gee, feels.
bro, straight up, fuck it.
You're good, Bucks. Is he actually?
It means you don't know how much that meant a lot to me at a time. Or this is why I say anime. It's kind of, it's almost like a medium where it kind of helps you through certain situations where, you know, I wasn't in a good place during that time. If I'm being just honest with, just watching that part, it kind of brought like some sort of peace in that sense. So when that part happened, you know, I was completely over the moon because Naruto has been through a lot. Like, it'll be hard if hard pressed we can name 3 characters that's been exactly through what Naruto has been up until to that point.
Yeah.
Oh my!
You know, like they built him up for so long.
Naruto, man.
Name one character who's been All Might.
Nah,
so good.
What I'm saying is that they built him up for so long, and because Naruto has been through a lot, and that was the icing on the cake.
You know what I hated?
It was who?
Seeing Sakura there, fuck, she pissed me off.
Everybody hates Sakura. Everybody hates Sakura.
Sakura, get out of here, G.
Get out of here. You know, the best thing is that like that's the moment where like Naruto actually became known as a hero.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like,
yeah,
everyone.
Like, every time I bet you like now, like, every time they say like, oh, Naruto's the hero of the Leaf, like that's the only moment they recall because like the Ninja War, like, you know, Naruto and Sasuke, they pretty much had.
Yeah,
That's pretty much their thing.
They knew
Naruto
what
single-handedly
save the Leaf. And that's what I mean. Like that's what pisses me off about when you watch Boruto now is that everyone there, besides Konohamaru, who's gonna be the next Hokage, besides them, know that you know, they wouldn't have burger joints all over the Leaf Village like they do now if it wasn't for that kid. And Itachi's sacrifice.
I've never watched Boruto. I just heard like some mixed bags about that anime, so I don't really want to watch it now.
Oh man, like cause like they build up to it so well, like without like if you take away all the fillers and shit that happen. So you have the Nagato pain conversation. And then you have
that's true.
Nagato
that's true,
and Naruto conversation, and then you have the
straight after.
the Nagato conversion, and then brings everyone back to life. Kakashi comes back, bro. When Kakashi died, I was like, I was like, bro, shit is about to go down because this guy's ripping left, right, and center, and it's crazy because like Naruto, when he came back, the only people who knew him. Like, the whole village knew him as the knucklehead ninja, like that little shit who goes and tags on this. When he came back, there wasn't really a warm welcoming like that, you know what I mean? Like, he had no family or anything else, so he had only these friends, the small group that knew him, and only like Kakashi and Sakura and the fifth Hokage at the time knew that what Naruto was up to, and like him leaving the village was a massive point in Naruto's life. Because he had to go in and get stronger and stuff before the Akatsuki came for him, but nobody else knew this, and so when he came back and everything that he did, the fight with the Itachi, or before that, nobody knew who he was. I think like even the Sand Village, the whole Sand Village, did not know who Naruto was after he saved Gaara. It was just Gaara and their little group. You know what I mean? And so all of it's been on the D-Lo, and then to have that bit where like he comes out and like everybody's standing there and like the teacher's standing there and he's like giving that little speech. Wow, like at that, like I remember like watching, I was like, wow, gee, that's a mean build up, gee, that's a mean build up. Like everything was on before that.
I was kind of happy like how because I thought the whole like series like you never really knew like because everybody like you knew the backstory, but like Naruto's like when they finally showed his parents, it was like it's kind of like
his parents.
That story, man. Oh my.
His parents. Oh fuck, that's true.
I mean that little filler with the parents, man. Oh, bro, that was a good filler, man.
Oh, man,
that was
that wasn't filler. That was actually part of it. But like I think on the manga it actually came after the whole Nagato fight scene and stuff, and all of that, and then it showed afterwards. And, but like adding that filler, I think they added like 2 different fillers during that fight. It was annoying as shit. And then I think it was Sakura like cried out for Naruto, pops up out of nowhere like a badass, goes on, takes pain, and then that fight goes outside of the leaf. That fight goes outside of the leaf village. The whole Ambu, all the soldiers and stuff, they know now that this Naruto kid's taking on pain by himself elsewhere.
Why is you playing that Sima?
Oh, gee, bro, that's just amazing.
How?
What's he playing?
I thought that should have been.
Bro, I reckon like another like sub-epic moment was I think both of them like when Kakashi and Team 7 they encounter Zabuza, and then again when they encounter him again in the Ninja War. Bro, that was neat. And because that's kind of like what made Naruto gave him that fire. Yeah. Like Kakashi explained, like you know why Naruto has this like passion to fight for other people is because of you and what happened on the bridge.
So you think, you ever thought that she was a girl?
She was a guy.
You find out where's your bloody guy, man.
Oh, he's
But I
the
think it's
prettiest
just
guy I've seen.
the way he was drawn, he looked like a girl, but then you found out it was a guy.
I honestly, I thought it was a girl too. I was right there with Naruto. I was like, oh shit, that was a guy. You're a guy. He since when?
I mean, Naruto was all talk up until that point, eh?
Yeah, he was all talk. Nah, he had that little skirmish just before then. Before the message.
Yeah, but
yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh no, never mind. Complete went blank.
Man, the best. I think like the best moment ever was when like Sakura finally realized how useless she was.
What?
She's like, I'm constantly looking at your back. Stay there.
Bro. But then she's like, I'm tired of looking at your back, and then she joins the front lines. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but then when she joins the front line, everybody on the front line's looking at her and be like, the fuck, get back.
Oh, bro, that was the fun. Yeah, she was like, I'm tired of looking at you. And then she jumps to the front and like just makes a massive earthquake, turns into Tsunade #2. And then everyone starts getting hurt, and they're like, Sakura, get back there. Help them out. And so she goes
Sakura,
back.
look what you've done. You made that earthquake and hurt everybody else. Now go and heal them.
Oh, my shit. Man, I just remembered what I was going to say, and then I completely forgot again.
Nah, shit. Yeah, so, that was quite a... It actually turned out a lot better than what I thought it was gonna end up be. But yeah, so just to finish off, you know, our anime discussion stream tonight, we're just gonna kind of briefly go over the comments and stuff through Twitch and YouTube and stuff, just so we can you know, just answer some of the questions we may have missed in that before we end it. So yeah,
if you have any questions,
you guys wanna any questions that we missed and stuff that we can really answer it?
Not really.
Bro, why do we attract this? I'm really stupid.
Did you see it as well?
Yeah.
What happened?
Not even gonna
Like
talk about this comment.
you must have like a lot of time on your hands and no partner to do this stuff. It's like there's he probably commented and smiled and be like, hey, and then turn off his computer and then cry in bed.
Man,
It's like,
Do I drink bleach now?
What?
Sorry, do
I told you, this guy's dark as hickey, man.
Faço, G.
Those kind of comments on our stream. What the hell?
I pretty much went through all the comments there. I think the only comment that was like, oh yeah, so we had Humble Dinker saying like, to contribute to conversation, Humble was saying that Team Rocket was the best villains. Redwoods was saying, yeah, totally. And then Nomad said, Madara Uchiha for the best villain.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Really
Nomad.
good.
What do you guys reckon about that? Uchiha
Yeah.
I
Madara.
was actually looking at Madara, but I was like, oh, I didn't watch like a lot of like Naruto to really understand his backstory, but I knew like some of the stuff that he revealed like to Sasuke. So yeah.
but what was he like? What was his motive? He wanted to be.
He wanted to achieve peace as well.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
was just-
Like he
wanted
wanted
to
it to
equal
be
footing.
in his dream world. Like, you know, like he wanted to put everyone in their infinite Tsukiyomi.
Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's out of the question.
But the good thing about Madara is like he was always in the back, like in the back scenes, in the background,
Mm.
you know, like pulling the strings. But then even behind that, like we had Zetsu pulling the strings as well, like behind Madara.
Yeah, that got really stupid at the end, dude.
He started everything. That guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our take on Madara, I guess.
Mm. What about you, Tony? Did you have any questions? Did you get any questions?
No,
Simo.
it's just the same as before.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
she
nothing
was
really.
starting to trigger me.
Ah, yeah, suits.
Yeah.
It's fun
Well,
to be right now.
But like, gee. Yeah, that's some really good iconic moments there, eh, boys? I think we'll just
Yeah.
end off on a good note like that.
Mhm. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
yeah, thanks for the stream, boys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you people on Facebook got a good show of watching Eric cry. It was good. I'm gonna rewatch it just to see it. Yeah, clip it and put it up on the profile pic. No, I'm joking. That was really good. That was really good. That was good of Wooly. Bro, that was some hype ass shit though. Like, man.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by to stream, man. Really good. Really appreciate the comments coming through. And yeah, it actually did turn out pretty well, eh? Like our discussion kind of went like deeper
Yeah.
into like human, like our philosophy of life and stuff like that, like our values and ethics. And but now it's pretty good, eh? Real good.
That was really
Shout for
good.
tuning in.
Yeah. Thank you guys. It was really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna end that, man.
Oh, man.
Yo, thank yous. See you later.